often much better for you to have a little legal information before you make choices and do things that can affect your rights and cost you money, headaches, stress, and time. And that is especially true with family law related issues. Today we're going to talk about adding someone to title to your property and why that can cause problems. So if you add someone to title the property just because you're being nice or because you qualify for a mortgage, then you're going to create an interest, and the courts can deem that you gifted them part of that property. So typically with a home and you enter into a relationship, that might be exempt property where there's an exemption from saying that that person's entitled to anything. Once you've added them to the title, then you're deemed to have gifted them some of the home. So what are the consequences? When you do that, typically people do it as a joint tenant, which makes you absolutely equal owners. And there's a court case where they went to court and said, well, it's not really joint tenancy. We've added this person to title to the property. And the court determined yes. Like, they look at the intentions of the parties when they add the name. In this case, they determined that their intent at the time was to add them as a joint tenant. But where the court sort of varied from what the law is around joint tenancy is they said, well, we're going to look at the intentions and what's right and not right. And the court recognized that the person who owned the home before adding the other person to title had a greater interest. They paid the mortgage, they had the down payment, and all that stuff. So in the end, even though they determined that they were joint equal owners, they awarded 75% of the property to the person who originally had title and 25% after. Now, it's really important to know that even with this court decision, there's lots of variations, and there can be situational things that change how the court would look at this. You're far better off before you do anything with title to your property is to determine, get legal advice for your case. And the best way to protect yourself is with a cohabitation agreement or prenuptial agreement, which sets out the rights of both people in the event that the relationship doesn't break up. I know, it's not romantic, but think of it as relationship insurance. We get insurance on our homes, never expecting a fire, but if there ever is a fire, we're really glad we have our insurance in place. And same thing, it takes the fight away if things don't work out. So the rules are all set up in advance, and they can be whatever the two of you decide you want them to be. In terms of adding someone to title, it's easy, the cost is relatively low, but the consequences can be quite significant, so I'd encourage you to make sure that you make an informed choice anytime you do a change to title to your property, whether it's family law related or not.